Hi, hello. Thank you for joining me on this fine occasion that is autistic burnout. What the heck is it? I think my this is my third time trying to explain it, and what I've come to the conclusion is that it's very hard to explain, especially when you're like me and I've just been on the cusp of learning and understanding my best way of living as an autistic person, and to this point always being in this state of a low grade burnout that with a really strenuous day that requires a lot of energy and a lot of masking to get through can easily just tip everything and completely crash into that stage of autistic burnout. That, when you think of burnout, it's probably like the professional, I'm tired from this long week of work, so I'm gonna veg out on the couch for a day and then go to work the next Monday. Not the case. No, no, no. Instead, think of depression, but not necessarily causing insomnia, and the complete opposite of not feeling and not caring. It's overstimulation to the utmost degree. It's being completely fatigued and exhausted to the point that you can't talk, you can't will yourself to do anything. It's not being able to just think and remember anything, and it's completely debilitating, and it feels awful to be in that place because you feel like you can't help yourself, and it's feeling like you're at a point that you are almost, you can't be helped, and it's sadly a point where I think a lot of autistic people reach that point of suicidal thoughts, because there is a really high rate of suicide in autistic people, and I think a lot of it stems from dropping to that point of regression, of masking no longer, of feeling absolutely trapped and stuck that you just want to escape. I get that, and I totally feel that, and it's a scary place to be. And when people don't understand it, when there's such a lack of research for people that are autistic, that do burn out, that inevitably burn out if you're trying to live a normal life, that standards and expectations just kind of automatically ask of you, that you probably placed on yourself because you think, well, why can't I do this and this and this like everyone else? And you don't know enough about burnout to know otherwise, like me, that it's a really dangerous place. It's a really dangerous line to walk on, and it's blindly trying to find this kind of middle path of living your best autistic life, but also just being able to exist in this world that is not conducive to a neurodiverse approach. It's really difficult. And I really wish there were more resources and research and information out there, but at this point it's a lot of just autistic people speaking out about this and figuring it out and learning as we go. So that's what I've been doing, and I can share what I've been trying to do for myself, and it's probably most likely not what everyone can do and not what necessarily helps them the most, but here's my take. And it's been hard trying to find that middle ground. It's been very eye-opening that there is autistic burnout, and kind of realizing that I've probably been burnt out for a long time, and I didn't know it just because I was managing it. And it's that thing that's just looming in the background that a few days of extra pressure I put on myself, and I feel like I'm back at square one. But I think using the spoon theory, and I'll obviously link down below the blog post that I wrote all about this as well. The spoon theory is quite helpful, and although it's used for chronic illness, I think it's also conducive for autism in that you have limited energy and abilities in each day, and you want to put those towards what is really filling you up, that you really care about, and letting go of potential pressures of doing things that aren't necessary, aren't helpful to you, and at the end of the day just cause more problems. And knowing your limits, figuring out what those limits are, so that when you allow yourself breaks, they are frequent enough, they are long enough that they are actually helpful and actually recharge you so you can keep going. And I think having a support system of people that at least know where you're at, they know what might set you off, and they can tell when you might be on that edge of burnout, that they are compassionate, that you can have those accommodations when you need them, and you don't have to always mask. You can just be yourself, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. And that's so hard to find, which sucks, but it's worth seeking out. It's worth it's worth the effort of just being vulnerable and admitting to yourself and to the people that you interact with that, hey, I'm autistic and I have to do these things and I have to approach my life in this way so I don't combust. And the reality is that the way that you are probably taught to approach the world is not the only way to do it. And it's okay to do things your own way. Giving yourself permission for that is so hard, and we don't get that enough. And if you need that, I'm giving it to you right now. You have permission to be yourself, and you can achieve the goals that you set for yourself, and you don't have to do it in the way that perhaps you've been told to do it from that neurotypical classic perspective. You can do it yourself. Not necessarily yourself, but your own way, with the right support, with the right tools. So, that was all over the place, I know, but I hope that with this, we can learn more about autistic burnout, that we can be more empathetic towards it, and we can honestly just accept each other as we are, so we don't always have to mask ourselves and pretend that we're okay with situations that aren't good for us. It's a work in progress, I know, and I feel you if you're dealing with it, and we're gonna get through this. We got this. So, if you have additional thoughts, I would love to hear them down below, and I will see you all next time.